Hello, and welcome to Channel 5 News with Henry Hitterman. Today there's some new news, what with the entire situation in Kansas exploding. Ever since the Kansas-Nebraska Act has been enacted, Kansas has split into two separate governments, both vying for power. For more information on the situation in Kansas and what politically happened to Kansas to cause this, we go to Stephen Douglas. Hello, Stephen Douglas. Welcome
Hello.
to the show. My first question is going to be, you wrote the Kansas-Nebraska Act, so what exactly did the Kansas-Nebraska Act entail? What did it say?
Well, I wrote it, that's very true. My issue on it was to create westward expansion and have a connecting railroad and, make slavery a self-determination issue along with repealing the Missouri Compromise.
Right. Okay. And so how do you think this might have, what exactly did this do to Kansas to cause the current violence to erupt?
I think that since half of Kansas was divided on the issue of slavery, that they could not agree on whether they should either keep it or abolish it.
Right, and my understanding is that that led to two separate governments in Kansas right now fighting each other.
It sure did.
And they've actually termed this Bleeding Kansas. Can you tell us anything else about the situation in Kansas?
Well, the situation is very tight. Obviously, they're fighting their battles in order to keep their slaves and for battles to not keep their slaves.
Right. And my understanding is that there was corruption during the vote for self-determination in Missouri. Can you explain that in greater detail?
Yes, a lot of pro-slavery Kansas people decided to bring people from the Missouri territory in order to vote pro-slavery.
Right, which then, my understanding is, swayed the vote
It
for
sure
slavery.
did.
And all right, well, that's my last question. I'll keep the viewers up to date with more. Thank you, Stephen, for your time. Now we go to our operative in the field, Eli, who's interviewing on scene for more on the ongoing situation in Kansas.
Thanks, Henry. Today, after hearing the news of the act, there are large groups of both Northerners and Southerners gathered all across the nation. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Claire, who lives in the North and is a self-proclaimed abolitionist. Hi, Claire. Can I ask you what your understanding of the Kansas-Nebraska Act is?
The Kansas and Nebraska Act allows slavery in areas where it wasn't allowed before, and Stephen Douglas just wanted it to bring up the idea of manifest destiny, which gave the Democratic Party cohesion and electoral success.
Now, do you agree or disagree with the act?
I'm appalled that you even bring up the hint that I would agree with an act, a bill or an act that causes problems. Myself being a Northerner, I don't want anything to do with slavery. And since I'm an abolitionist, I don't think that slavery should exist whatsoever. It's inhuman.
Well put. Do you think that this will increase sectional conflict?
Sectional harmony has already been broken. The new act broke the compromise we Northerners considered sacred and necessary for the survival of the Union as the Constitution that itself. As Northerners fight to gain what we lose, the South will fight to maintain what they already have.
Now, there's talk of civil war all across the nation. Do you think there's any other way that we can end this conflict?
Because of the violation of the compromise we made, and because of the recent violence in Kansas, I believe reconciliation is virtually impossible, and that our new nation is headed for civil war.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Sectional conflict on the rise and a nation headed towards civil war. I'm Eli Whalen, Channel 5 News. Back to you, Henry.
All right, well, thank you, Eli, for more on the Kansas-Nebraska Act. That's it for today with Channel 5 News, and we will see you next week. Channel 5 News.
Issue.
But, okay, and what were the two, I remember there being, what was exactly in the Kansas-Nebraska Act? What did it say?
What it says.
So just remember, I'm going to ask you that just because it's like...